Swamp Rebellion. Don't forget to check us out on social media and at dsrtalks.com.
Well, you didn't wear a mask.
Why wear a mask?
We picked the wrong day not to be in quarantine right now.
Because I'm the rogue. That's why I'm wearing a mask.
Welcome to the Dank Swamp Rebellion quarantine show. We are here together, quarantined in the studio. We are breaking the law, and we decided to get out of our houses and come together because two things are happening today. Number one, we're here to keep everybody safe. We know that you rely on the news that we give you on a daily. Facts and just real talk. And also, this is going to be Halen's last live recording with us. Yes. He is going to be moving to Colorado.
Yeah, the mountains.
You picked a really good time to move, bro. Just saying.
I know. Everybody's in fucking chaos. All the cops are occupied with all the fucking freak out people and shit. And smoke weed and drive down the highway for 24 hours.
Is that why you're moving?
Part of the reason.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously a really good reason. That and just better pay at a job and fucking mountains. Who doesn't love mountains? Even if you're native to a southern state or even like super bayou like we are, you can look at a picture of a mountain range and go, wow, that's fucking pretty. So I just want to live around it instead of looking at a fucking picture.
So you want to just live around pretty shit that smokes
why
well?
not? Yeah, hell yeah.
You know what's the problem I got with the fucking mountains, bro?
Oh, God.
I ain't never seen no goddamn redfish in the mountains. Not one. You can't go to no restaurant up there and say, can I get a redfish coubillon? They don't know what the fuck a coubillon is, babe. What you gonna do?
I found a 6-hour drive throughout Colorado where you can go see like 12 waterfalls or some shit. So there's water.
They're gonna fucking redfish.
What's the ones that swim up a fucking stream or whatever? It's like salmon or something.
Yeah, mermans.
Maybe you're mermans.
Salamander.
It's a salamander?
Yeah.
I thought that's a lizard. That's
Yeah,
true.
the salmonella.
Fuck it, both of them involve water anyway, so screw it.
I think
Right.
it is salmon that's go upstream. Like
Right.
they like the challenge.
Yeah, they're like, let's fight really hard to get upstream
And dodge
lay our
bears.
eggs
And die.
and mate, and then die, and then we're gonna lay here, and people can just come pick us up, and bears can eat us.
What a fucking field day, huh?
Yeah,
And I think it's
To be a bear.
like koi fish that go downstream
I don't know. I wouldn't fuck with
because
a
they're
koi fish.
super lazy.
Because they come from the other side of the
And
world.
they're smart. You know, the salmon represents strength, and the koi represents, the brain smarts.
I don't know about all that shit.
So let me ask you this: have you done much research about the area that you're about to move to, by any chance, or no? Other than for job purposes.
Well, I mean, did they ever have some kind of Indian tribe or anything that comes from that area?
Hey, you intolerant
yeah, all
swine!
of
It's
them.
native.
Because I'm not sure.
All of them,
For real?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not all that fucking accurate on it.
bro. They probably
I'm not a
had
Native
like
American,
some Blackfoots, some red squaws. If that was something, I don't even know. That sounded cool though.
Red squall.
The reds. They probably had some purple iguanas, the blue barracudas out there.
They're finding
Yeah, you're right.
They're finding hills and little mountain ridges and shit like that are actually made of bedrock instead of the normal
Yeah.
like hard rock or whatever the fuck you want to call
Navajo's
it.
actually in Colorado.
Yeah.
Soft rock.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
no shit. I just looked it up. According to Google, Navajo's in Colorado.
So, despite COVID-19 going on, NASA's still determined that we're going for the hunt for life on Mars. So, they're sending out on July 17th a Perseverance rover, and it's going to go to Mars and check out some shit. It doesn't matter if we bring COVID-19 with us. Nobody cares. But Netflix has a new series out right now called Mars. And what this is, it's a series that shows real-time documentary. In 2016, they have real-life interviews with Elon Musk, the head of NASA, the head of the International Space Program. And they talk about why it would be a good thing to go to Mars, and also what would be some of the biggest challenges of getting there and surviving there. And probably the biggest problem with the whole Mars situation is when I told Phil about this show, right? And Phil's like, well, no shit, we should have been there 15 years ago. That's the problem right there. Is that everybody looks at what technology we have to get there, and nobody thinks about like what happens once you get there, right? That's always been my thing.
I'm already there.
So
yeah.
So what they're planning on doing is by 2033 is having rovers touch down on Mars and drones that are gonna
establish a base,
and automatically be able to construct this fucking thing, have all their power set up, all their grid set up, the whole nine.
Yo.
So what this documentary does is it not only shows the facts of what could happen, and it shows real-time stuff that SpaceX, NASA, and internationally what's going on with space, but it also has a kind of mini-series sewn into it in 2033 and 15 years after that to show what could happen. So like when they touch down on the surface of Mars, the first thing happens is that you have no clue really, they're just guessing at all this. So it's the best educated guess when it comes to landing on Mars, right? So when the shuttle gets there, it hits the atmosphere wrong and it doesn't correct itself. So the first thing that happens is they're way far away from where the base was set up, and they don't have enough oxygen to really get there. And it's super, super cold on Mars because of the distance away from the Earth. So the first thing that happens is they lose their captain. He dies immediately. So it goes to show that it shows like what could possibly happen, what could go wrong. And then they say, and on top of what they've predicted, in this mini series of what could possibly go wrong, there's another million variables that could still go wrong because it's so far away. But it's a pretty awesome idea to think about because, they had these rovers and these drones set up a greenhouse, set up freaking a med bay. All these robots did all this shit before humans even got there.
And you know what's really fucking cool about that too? Now you have your workforce to maintain that entire fucking facility. It beat you there. It established it for you. And now it's the best fucking system to maintain it. So we don't have to go there and clean the fucking toilets.
The one factor that remained in every single error with this mission is man.
Well,
everything that ever came down to anything being fucked up with this mission comes down to man. So that's why they've been putting people through all of these tests. The Russians are doing it. We're doing it where we isolate people in remote places that look and feel like Mars, and to see if they'll lose their shit. So they'll lock them up in these fucking little camps for like fucking 300 something days or 2 years, or like the Russian one was 5 years in Siberia or some shit. And it's like people lose their shit. Like this guy was trying, the ground is made of rock, solid bedrock, and this dude's trying to dig out and go under. It's like, you're not going anywhere, dude. Like, he's in a spacesuit, because it's all simulated. It has to be real. So when they went out into what they, their little area where they had like their little garden and shit, it was literally on rock,
Right.
And so that's the biggest thing is people mentally are not made for this shit.
Not isolation.
They're so used to being, there's a very small percent of the population that'd be able to actually go to Mars and would be able to hold their shit together. It's the same thing with the space station. Captain, what's his name? Kelly?
Yeah, one of the Kelly brothers.
When I think it was in 2016 or 17, he went to the space station for an entire year, and it's like, the guy was like, man, it's like mind numbing up there sometimes, and he got back, motor skills were like not there anymore. Atrophy. It was
he actually shrunk a little bit too, because in a zero gravity environment, your organs will shrink and your bones will lose density, and along with bone mass as well too.
Right.
You can use less energy to move around.
Well, it's like hardly
You don't
any
have anything dragging on you.
I'm like, it's all forward momentum. You just push off a wall and go floating. I'm surprised his muscles didn't atrophy coming back.
You know how strong your heart has to be to come back, though?
His heart also shrank too.
So his heart shrunk, and it didn't have to work as hard because it was 0 G's. So then you got to think, he had to have tons of anxious excitement coming back, because anything could go wrong. There's a point where you could die.
You're also plummeting out of the sky.
Exactly.
In a metal
Adrenaline's
shell.
pumping. So now, all of a sudden, out of nowhere, after 365 days of being in space, this guy's heart starts working like Rocky punching that meat.
Or imagine like the psychological terror that you have to go through.
Well,
That's what he said. He said the minute you figure out, oh my God, I didn't die, it was actually kind of fun. He's like, but up until that point, like, your ass was clenching.
Yeah, I mean that's like the opposite of what human nature is. It's not human nature to be isolated like that.
Isolation.
Honestly, the best suited for that job would be probably like a prisoner that's been doing that for a long period of time already.
It sounds like you're describing the perfect sci-fi movie, like a space prison type scenario right there.
Oh my God, dude. So, what was the one where he put the human centipede in space?
Wait, what?
That would be awesome. Take prisoner into space, ass to mouth, put him on Mars.
Well, that's what's going to happen whenever the...
I'm just picturing the centipede just flying into shit the whole way.
Yeah, that's what the Covid-19, we're going to bring it out there on these drones, right? And they're going to do really well and go into hibernation whenever it's super cold. They get on to Mars, and then it just starts to mutate into this next thing.
That's how we get the things from the movie Alien.
Yeah, and it's going to be able to take over some of these drones, and then it's going to have transformers, finally.
Yeah.
Cool. Hell yeah.
So, like, we'll have virus transformers, which is the Decepticons, and they'll be colonizing on Mars, making us think that, oh, yeah, we're working for the humans. This is going to be dope when they get here. Yeah, they got their med bay, they got their shitter, they got their beds and stuff.
I'm a shit in their toilets. Fuck them.
We've been making this erector set type setup, which, I mean, the fun part of an erector set is making it, not so much playing with it. So we're kind of fucking ourselves over there. But I understand the point. So you have these Decepticon erector sets made out of Covid-19s, and it's just going to keep multiplying and mating with each other. And then Mars is just going to turn into the coolest sci-fi story ever.
It's where all the new movies are going to be filmed and shit.
Yeah. The tax break's sick on Mars.
Risk via reward.
That was one of the other issues, is that so they're there like 15 years, actual astronauts.
It takes a long time to get there. It takes a fucking
It takes
while.
8 months to get there.
Yeah, that's a long.
But they were
time.
But I'm saying once they got there and set up, they were there 15 years, and then all of a sudden, these 3 rockets, these ships just land, and it's a corporate company. And they get this, and by the way, we need your water supply and we need your power. What? Well, the space treaty that you signed saying that you can't leave anybody with nothing up here. And the trip we made, well, we couldn't bring that much water for our crew, and we couldn't bring that much supplies, so we need your supplies. Oh, and by the way, we're a corporate company, so we didn't sign any treaty. That's only for nations. That ain't got shit to do with us. So you can't leave us to die, so you're fucked. So hook us up and do what I fucking tell you to do. And that's what happened. So the minute they got there and corporate starts rushing things, all of a sudden people start getting injured, and it's the same anywhere. It's like the minute you try to start terraforming, the lust of money in man is always going to kill it.
So, okay, check this out. So, all right. You find out corporate's coming, right?
Wayland, Teknawa, aliens.
Right.
In 10 years, because your email takes that long to get there. And you're like, shit, they're on their way 10 years ago. And
they're going to be here in like
they show
6
up
hours.
in a few hours.
That's like a sitcom.
Yeah. Dude, so not only we do have a killer sci-fi movie now, but this would make a really good comedy
Like
as well.
a comedy spinoff.
Yeah. The situation at hand just makes it so good. Okay, so you could easily make a drama out of all that shit too, with a love story between the 2 people that's on there. And then You have.
See, if it was me, I would make it a love story between the COVID and the drone. Like, I would make the COVID alive.
That would be
and
awesome,
the drone, where all of a sudden, just like on fucking Lost in Space, where the android, he starts to become cognizant of feeling because he sees it in the other person's face.
So,
Jesus Christ.
So, I mean, I know we kind of been joking about it and stuff just to like kind of make light of it. It makes it so much easier to joke about it because it's such a serious thing. What are you guys doing to prepare for the future as far as like?
I went and bought as many rounds of 12 gauge buckshot and slug as I could, and a bunch of 380. Yeah,
Good call.
yep.
I did the same. I didn't have a gun at my house, and now I definitely do. Just to make sure.
I went and bought ammo. I bought some pizza rolls. I bought some
Classic.
yeah. I bought a lot of fish fry and cooking oil because I got a lot of fish to fry.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'm just gonna fucking party it out, dude. I bought a QP, so I'm gonna sit back, smoke. That's one thing I know that I'm okay because 2 reasons. I smoke more weed than anybody I know. The other thing is that I took a Flintstone vitamin in 2010.
And you're good.
I'm good.
Was it?
I'm convinced that
Velma?
if you eat enough Flintstone vitamins, if they could find those original ones today and fed them to cancer patients, it would cure cancer.
I really liked the purple ones. Those tasted really good.
I like the orange ones.
The orange was chalky, bro.
Yeah, the orange was chocolate.
That's what Adderall tastes like.
When you chew it.
When we get down to it, it is exactly what it tastes like. The craziest shit I'm seeing is of society, wise, not in front of me, like how people are reacting to the news, whether it be completely ignoring it, whether it's just like it's disheartening, so I'm like completely shutting down, or the exact opposite is like I'm gonna go do more shit now because no one's fucking doing anything at all. It's like
It aggravates me the people that don't listen. Just stay in your fucking house, all right?
No,
You
I'm
ain't
moving. Fuck you.
You ain't got it.
that's
Even
one.
still, dude, you don't have to be going to parties and doing all this other shit and being a fucking rebel because you just look like a fucking idiot.
That's kind of like what we're doing right now with this podcast, to be honest with you.
I went to the bar last night.
No, we're not,
Shutting
dude.
bars down.
We're 4 guys in a room. We don't have 30 people in this fucking
Okay.
room. We're not at a bar.
We're allowed to have 10 people in one
Up to
room.
10.
yeah.
Oh yeah, you're right. You're right. The air police is gonna come here and stop me if I throw a shit dig at my house. before.
The social distancing, like everything, like basically you have to change your way of life, and everyone.
Truth of the
It's
matter
gonna
is, I
help.
wish I could social distance constantly.
I do that every day.
Like
Already,
the
on
further I
purpose.
can distance myself socially from the world, the better off I am.
We're on the same track there. That's probably why we have a podcast.
Not me.
Yeah. I went to the dollar store up at the front of my street right there, but they got a shit ton of toilet paper. You know what they don't have? Water. And they don't have Vienna sausage. I'm like, what happened to people in South Louisiana, bro? We used to be hardcore. Next thing you know, people be boarding up the windows. This ain't a fucking hurricane.
Yeah.
We don't need a sandbag and shit, man.
That's the default, though. Like
It's
there's.
coming.
It's like there's
Go get on a pot and make you can, babe.
It's like there's a problem. I'm boarding my windows up, and I got sandbags. in
And then
my
you hear
shit.
Coach O, like with everything going on, he's still like, get off my fucking grass. And
It,
see, Trump was right
doesn't-
again.
The race to Mexico.
Mexico closed the border, so he did make them pay for it. Fuck them.
And Canada, too.
You know what, man? That kind of blew my mind a little bit just now.
Oh, Canada fucked himself, bro. That's why. You first of all, as your prime minister, you're gonna vote in a fancy lad. Man, we heard about them fancy lads. You ain't supposed to be fucking with that shit.
What's
His
that?
wife's pretty sexy.
Is that
though, I think.
rolling papers? Fancy lad?
You want to buy a monkey?
I mean,
It's open season.
It is open season for monkeys.
Monkeys.
So what else is going on?
I think we should maybe go into some, some government stuff on the epidemic. I'm sorry, the pandemic.
I was gonna say, don't call it an epidemic. The word's retired.
So this is my whole. This is what I think, right? You go from a failed impeachment right into a outbreak of a virus that China released up on the world right in the middle of the first time ever China getting a beatdown from Trump on a trade deal. For the first time ever, America becomes the world power, and that drops on an election year, and you can't tell me that's not coincidental. All of this shit lined up back to back to back to back.
So you're saying like conspiracy wise?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was planned.
I kind of have an issue with calling it the Chinese virus. I really do. And it's not because it comes from China. Like, I get it. We all know it came from China. But calling it the Chinese virus has so many other implications that fuck the society of it up. Mm-hmm. So it's really easy to not do that just to hold shit together. You know what I mean? Which he's been doing a really good job of doing that. I mean, I may not agree with some of the shit that he says or does, right? But at the same time, he's handling this pretty well. As far as his attitude, he's handling it well. Because you know how easy it'd be to be really pessimistic in some period of time like this after day and day and day out about the same thing. Because last night it was on one of the live reportings, and a reporter had asked him, why are you sugarcoating everything that you say like this? And he's like, would you rather me be pessimistic about it? Would you rather me be really negative about the things
That's
I have to say?
exactly what they want.
It is, and they do want that. But you know how much mass hysteria that would bring upon the United States if your president is all of a sudden a very negative outlook on what we're doing, right?
Yeah, if he comes out and goes, it's not looking good, guys.
Yeah. I mean, some people may take that as a very real eye-opening experience, but people who are extremely...
That's exactly what Carter would have done. Carter would have been like, we're all fucked,
yeah,
but jelly beans are on the house.
Planner's nuts.
He's...
And free G-string.
A chicken in every pot. And $1 in every ass.
You got grass.
No, I'm telling you. There's a hole in his neck.
Wait, he has a tracheotomy?
It's gotta be.
You think he can...
The hole in his neck is where he smokes his blunts.
No, dude, that's just how people sound like down there. What do you mean? Yeah, dude, you know that better than anyone.
It just sounds like he's got a hole in his neck.
He's got a fucking bullfrog hanging out inside of the back of his throat. I mean, that's all it is.
Are you saying that the bullfrog is calling the shots?
That's what gives him his gratin voice, you know, like that was Tim Allen, sorry.
Gratin voice, man.
It was Tim Allen with a hangover.
Imagine Tim Allen doing his all the time.
Yeah.
Just the low part. So
Yeah.
Like revving up all the time. It's a nervous tick.
That's one show they need to bring back. I'm like, the hell with Full
Tim
House.
Tim Allen just like fucking coked out though, still. Like
Again?
yeah.
It's fucking hilarious.
I'm like, he's got to represent Detroit somehow. That's all I'm saying, all right?
It's home improve me into a lot more improvements, more home improveliers.
Okay, so that being said, it's like, you think his next home improvement project will converting his house into like a meth lab?
That's already happened.
That already happened? Well, we're
Guaranteed.
Not mobile. This isn't Breaking Bad. I'm talking like plastic tarps. And
Well,
some
I mean,
staples.
dude, it's at least
I would
crack.
watch it.
I watch it too.
Yeah, and then you'd have like Jonathan Taylor Thomas come out like selling shit like a Jesse character. Yeah.
I just want to see what his lab will look like. You know, he's like more power and it just blows up like every single week. His lab just blows up at a different location.
And he uses Benford tools still to fix his shit, you know. And then Al's like just really out and gay now, finally, you know, like lumberjack status, no shirt, kind of like Randy from Trailer Park Boys.
Well, it's like, the actor that played Wilson is dead, so I think a suitable replacement as a consultant should be,
A guy with just half a face.
well, like, no, it should be Bryan Cranston, like, giving him some words of wisdom of what to do. It's like, you want to take these chemicals and mix in this rotation, or get Jesse from Breaking Bad in there.
I would watch that. Yeah.
I think we got ourselves a show.
Man, we're just coming up with all kind of shows today.
Trademark
huh?
it. Trademark it.
Here you go,
Telling
guys. If y'all make any of these, please just let us know. You don't even care if you give us the credit.
No, we do care. This is on whatever episode this will be, time marked and stamped. So
Phil, we don't give a shit. We just want to watch it.
Yeah.
we'll watch it.
I've got no film skills whatsoever. Y'all thought The Room was bad. Y'all don't want me making a fucking movie.
The Room.
No, I said the lighting in here was good from what I'm seeing on the view over here. Not like Whoopi Goldberg's show, but I'm saying like what on screen over here.
She's the only shadow on stage.
Oof.
Dude,
So NASA is
What do you mean?
worried.
It's oh no, you know.
NASA's worried about
there you are.
people. We talked about this on the last show. NASA's worried about people not being able to fuck in space, right? So they're denying that anybody has ever had any sexual anything in space on any
Bullshit.
mission whatsoever. That
A dick-
they'll deny it,
A dick has been sucked or a clit has been flicked. Guaranteed.
even if it was just jacking off. That's
Guaranteed.
something, you know.
There's been
I
semen
guarantee
floating
it.
around.
Yeah, yeah. They're like, we're gonna cut off
Guaranteed.
cameras, but truth of the matter is, all the mission control is watching.
The first sexual act conducted in space was gay.
Right?
What was it?
Yeah.
It was 2 guys 69 in.
It's crazy, huh?
That's wild.
Pretty easy.
They kept spinning and spinning and spinning while they were sucking each
my.
other's dicks.
And then the fluids just kept like.
And then it like
Imagine.
blew them apart and they both hit the wall.
like imagine like an infinity symbol come and bodies.
Oh, man.
floating in the-
Hairy
It's exactly
asses.
like in Star Wars whenever they it's Hayden Christensen and Palpatine, and like they're in that water tank thing, and they just tell them about the dark side of the Force. It's
Yeah.
just like that.
The funny thing is, dude, is that they're saying that the way they're going to combat this is they're going to make sex toys in space, right? And they're like going to make a self-suck thing for the guys, and then a toy that comes out of the side of the wall for the chicks.
What?
But this is the thing, right?
You just made it seem like if you hit a wall, it
Doesn't the toilet do
trap
that
door.
already? Doesn't
What?
doesn't the pee thing, like you go put your dick in a tube,
Yeah.
and it like just keep sucking and sucking and sucking until like can you imagine the press conference is like, we would like to let all of you know that we have started to create sex toys for all of you that are going up in space. Yeah, we're gonna have a self-suck machine. Yeah, and the guy's like, we do that already.
what the guys have to do up there, they have to go from suck to blow in the settings.
So what you mean is we're gonna have 2 suck machines now?
Yeah, they just updating the piss
Two
funnel.
separate ones right next to each other. Wait, we could go at the same time.
Hell yeah!
Which one's the piss
Space
funnel?
docking.
So like, yeah, you just get an update on your piss hole, so that way you could just keep getting sucked off by space, because space is what's sucking.
Right. Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
At what point do you just get like a rechargeable portable one? And just when they wake up in the morning, just you put on your self-suck
Yeah.
machine just in case you need it.
So,
Would you get stuff done? Ever?
I mean, eventually.
I'm like, it's called procrastinating for a reason, all right?
The novelty will wear off at some point.
At some point.
The way that you described it as like, oh, don't worry about it, space is gonna suck you off. You basically described every single Tourette's patient on a planet masturbating. I'm gonna let the Parkinson's do the work. Okay, they don't have to do like no effort whatsoever.
How lucky is Michael J. Fox? He just got to sit there.
That's called auto.
He sits there and he watches the view. He could jack off to anything, dude. Like literally, just sit there.
That's just called autopilot, man.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
Poor guy.
I don't know about that. His royalty checks are pretty hefty, so
He did write Johnny Be Good though, which is pretty cool.
How does that have anything to do with his? What is it? Parkinson's, right? Is that what he actually has?
'Cause he's-
some other,
he's-
or does he have the Joseph?
He was the first one that said, "Go Johnny, go, 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 go."
oh,
Nice.
Sooner or later, he'll have the Dale Earnhardt
And just be dead.
when he crashes into a wall.
Oh, he'll be a ball of fire. See what you're saying?
From so much energy.
like in his case, he'll be
From
on-
the shaking.
See, in his case, Like, he won't be a ball of fire, or he'll come out more as a sparkler because of how fast the fucker's moving and shit.
Well, you do go out hot, but you come in cold.
And people think it's weird that I like to set cripples on fire, and I don't think it's that big of a deal.
Okay, elaborate. How are we gonna do this? Are we talking about like a
Lighter fluid and a lighter.
well, like is there like a
Sometimes I like to just douse them with a lighter fluid and then see how many matches it takes to light them.
Oh man, I thought you were saying like someone in a wheelchair was doing really good at a casino. Like that cripple's on fire.
No, I just do it for fun.
A lot, literally.
He goes running over to the stewardess. Hey, did you see that cripple's on fire?
do you like, are you trying to sabotage? Like if they were in like an electric scooter or electric wheelchair, would you like sabotage the battery or the wheel?
When I see people in a wheelchair and they're being pushed around by you could tell lesser than intelligent caregiver at the casino, and they're sitting there all fucked up next to the machine, watching the machine while that asshole plays
Spins their money.
fucking dude. So many
I've seen
people in
it.
the casinos are like that. It's so fucked up.
I've seen
and
it.
it's like, you know what? I'm sorry this sounds fucked up. That person's better off dead, dude. Like, that's your enjoyment. You're gonna sit there and be a fucking retard watching a fucking screen while I blow your fucking disability.
You're listening to Dankest Rebellion. Thank you for listening to Dankest Rebellion. Check us out on DSRTalks.com.